Chapter 1, Getting a Concubine for the First Time. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Commit yourself to me tonight to protect your Zhao family. Good, that it was cloudy and rainy all night, but when I woke up in the morning the wind was blowing and the clouds were soothing. Zhou he looked at the simple roof, turned to look at the white shoulders beside him, and felt the warmth coming from his arms. Am I, traveling through time? A flood of memories came to mind. This place is located in the Nanhan cultivation world, the scope of Qin Shan sect, the Zhou Immortal cultivation family. The original owner is a member of the younger generation of the Zhou family, named Zhou Daoqing. Jianqi Zhou family, a well-known immortal cultivating family in the surrounding area, has a strong man in the foundation building stage, nearly 10 ninth-level Qi practitioners, and occupies the second-level mid-level Tianqi mountain spirit vein, which has been passed down for more than 300 years. Zhou Daoqing, ranked 6th in the Zhou family's generation, has the 3 spiritual roots of metal, fire, and earth. He has average qualifications, but has excellent understanding and a calm mind. He has reached the 6th level of Qi refining at the age of only 21. As for the person lying next to him, he is Zhao Yunji from the Zhao family in Qingtai Mountain. The Zhao family in Qingtai Mountain is a small Qi refining family. The strongest one in the family is at the 9th level of Qi refining. Both the family background and overall strength are not on the same level as the Zhou family. However, more than 10 years ago, a piece of news was exposed about the Zhao family. In this Qi refining family, a talented girl with water and wood spiritual roots appeared, Zhao Yunji. In the world of cultivation, most people have useless spiritual roots and miscellaneous spiritual roots, and only a handful of people have cultivation talents. Among them, the 5 spiritual roots account for a large part. Even among the immortal cultivating families, most of them have 4 spiritual roots and 3 spiritual roots. The emergence of a genius with 2 spiritual roots in a small Qi refining family is indeed a major event worthy of celebration by the whole family. However, the Zhao family made major mistakes in decision-making. They did not choose to hide their capabilities and bide their time, but accidentally leaked the news. Not only was there no clarification in the follow-up, but he hoped to use this genius to gain more benefits for the family. However, a talented girl with water and wood spiritual roots, and born into a weak Qi refining family, is not a huge temptation. Soon, it attracted the covetous attention of many foundation-building families, especially the Ma family of Hongfeng Lake. The year after the story broke, the Ma family came to visit with a large amount of resources, trying to force their young patriarch, Ma Xuanhuan, to marry the Zhao family genius who had just grown up. Ma Xuanhuan, the son of the head of the Ma family, is gifted with 3 spiritual roots. He is a playboy with a lustful nature and specializes in the affairs of men and women. It is said that at the place where he practiced, he built a special courtyard specifically for sexual intercourse, and even forcibly persecuted many casual cultivators and women from small families. However, due to the strength of the Ma family and Ma Xuanhuan's identity, the victim dared not speak out. A few years ago, Ma Xuanhuan forcibly abducted a girl from a small family, forced her to have sex with her, and tortured her for many days. After the woman's family learned about it, they came to ask for an explanation. The head of the Ma family used his power to suppress others, forcibly confusing right and wrong, and even injured the head of the Han family. In the end, he could only swallow his anger and marry the humiliated clan girl to Ma Xuanhuan as his concubine. The Zhao family in Qingtai Mountain was aware of the bad reputation of the Ma family, so they naturally did not want to marry Zhao Yunji to Ma Xuanhuan. The patriarch repeatedly refused. Unexpectedly, he angered the Ma family. After brutally injuring the head of the Zhao family, he officially declared war on the Zhao family. It was ordered that if Zhao Yunji was not married to Ma Xuanhuan, the Zhao family in Qingtai Mountain would be destroyed. Later, relying on the influence of the Jiji family, they pursued and intercepted all the Zhao family's properties, settlements, and shops in Qingtai Mountain, with the intention of exterminating them all. In just 6 years, the situation of the Zhao family, which was originally booming, suddenly plummeted. During this period, a large number of members of the clan died mysteriously. Although there is no evidence to prove that it was the Ma family, anyone with a discerning eye knew that it was the Ma family who posed a threat. Faced with the situation of family destruction and death, new and old grudges, the Zhao family was filled with grief and anger, but still refused to obey. In order to seek a chance of survival, he looked for help everywhere. But unfortunately he did not have the strength to offend the Ma family for no reason. Finally, they approached the Zhou family, who were also members of the Ji building family, and were willing to marry Zhao Yunji to the Zhou family as a concubine, with only one request, to protect the Zhao family in Qingtai Mountain. Naturally, the Zhou family had no reason to refuse such a good thing that came to their doorstep. On the one hand, the Zhou family and the Ma family are both foundation-building families, and their strength is similar. They usually have constant friction. Let alone feud, their relationship is definitely not harmonious. On the other hand, Zhao Yunji has dual spiritual roots and is definitely a rare genius. Therefore, the two parties hit it off immediately and immediately finalize the deal, and it's just a concubine, no need to hold complicated wedding matters, it can be completed in a short time. As for the candidate, the Zhou family finally discussed and selected Zhou Daoqing, a man with average talent and a calm personality among the Dao generation. Yesterday was the first day that Zhao Yunji came to the Zhou family in Tianxi Mountain. In order to protect the family, she was humiliated and married into a concubine. Her status was naturally not high, so she was sent to Zhou Daoqing that night. The original owner was also rude. It's a pity that not long after the fun started, he died unexpectedly due to disordered aura in his body, and another soul had to take over the task. Zhou he rubbed his brows and was forced to accept his new identity. He looked at the woman beside him with a headache. He is only 21 years old, and Zhao Yunji is already 24. Although there is a 3-year age difference, strictly speaking, there is still a gap in seniority. Zhao Yunji's father, the head of the Zhao family, was the same generation as Grandpa Zhou Daoqing. Although their status was very different, the seniority was still there. It just happened that Zhao Yunji was younger among his peers, while Zhou Daoqing ranked 6th in the Taoist generation, so there was not much age difference. Oh, what the hell is this? It's really ridiculous. Zhou Daoqing rubbed his cheeks and felt the warmth under the quilt. He had an inexplicable and unreal feeling. Suddenly a voice as cold as a spring sounded, "You were never so sentimental last night." Zhao Yunji had already woken up. Looking back on everything that happened last night, he couldn't help but look a little lonely. Zhou Daoqing sighed and speculated, "It must be that my brain got hot and I couldn't control it." Zhao Yunji had a cold expression. He didn't have much affection for this boy from the Zhou family who was much younger than him, and their interactions were limited to the tenderness last night. However, due to the pressure of family survival, he had to use himself to seek a chance for the family to survive. It was the first time for both parties to experience a stormy night, so they naturally felt very tired, so he didn't continue to toss, but just stayed warm for a moment before Zhou Daoqing got out of the quilt. When I first arrived, although I already understood a lot of things through the memories in my mind, it was still full of strangeness. The strong lack of security also made him temporarily put aside his male and female affairs and choose to understand his own situation first. In the process of traveling through time, some inexplicable changes seem to have happened to me. Chapter 2 Formation Inheritance. You are listening at novelfull.audio. First of all, the most obvious thing is the mental power. Zhou Daoqing could clearly feel that when the two souls merged together, the mental power became several times stronger. Even the comprehension was greatly improved. The original owner's comprehension was not low, and after this change, it seemed to become even stronger. The originally obscure skills and spells can now be easily understood and even applied to other situations. In addition, after a night of struggle last night, Zhou Daoqing had a surprising discovery. His realm was magically broken through to the 7th level of qi refining. Although his strength had reached the peak of the 6th level of qi refining before, it was very difficult to break through to the late stage of qi refining. The bottleneck between the middle and late stages of qi refining often takes several years to hone, and it is a very difficult threshold in the qi refining stage. In the family, the 7th level of qi refining is also a huge watershed. Reaching the late stage of qi refining means being able to take on family responsibilities and stationed in some important positions, which belongs to the middle and high-level combat power. Now, among the younger generation of the Zhou family, except for the eldest brother Zhou Daobai, no one has broken through to the late stage of qi refining, and Zhou Daoqing is the second one. There was no sign of a breakthrough before. Why did the bottleneck suddenly break through overnight? Zhou Daoqing frowned slightly, a little puzzled. could it also be caused by the soul crossing? But soon, he found that it was not the case. After searching for a while, he noticed an abnormality and took out a piece of ancient stone from his chest. The stone was engraved with complex and cumbersome patterns, which looked extremely mysterious. This was the item of the original owner, which was obtained a long time ago. It should be a jade slip of the practice method, which needs to be read with spiritual consciousness, but this jade slip is too old and can no longer be used. It was given to the elders in the clan to check before, and they said that it had lost its spirituality, it should be discarded, but Zhou Daoqing thought the stone was strange and never felt annoyed, so he kept it with him. However, yesterday, when he passed through, the stone was affected by the special energy and changed abnormally. On the surface of the stone, a layer of debris fell, and the lines became clearer and more spiritual. Now, Zhou Daoqing tried to probe into the divine consciousness again, and surprisingly found that he could view the content. "Is this the inheritance jade slip?" Zhou Daoqing exclaimed lightly, revealing a look of doubt. "In this jade slip, a complete set of inheritance is recorded, which should come from a powerful cultivator. The inheritance is mainly divided into two parts, the inheritance of skills and formations. In terms of formations, there is a lot of basic knowledge about formations, as well as a large number of formation diagrams. There are formation diagrams from the first to the third level, not only complete in variety, but also very detailed and complete." Zhou Daoqing couldn't help but recall the information about the cultivation skills. In the cultivation world, the cultivation skills are a very important part, which can assist cultivation and earn spirit stones, and often make the road to cultivation smoother. There are 4 common cultivation skills: alchemy, refining, talismans, and formations. There are also many niche skills, such as planting, breeding, puppets, beast control. Any of them is extremely rare. If you are not a powerful family, you can hardly obtain the benefits of cultivating immortals. This is also a symbol of a family's heritage and strength. The Tianqi Mountain Zhou family has been able to pass on to this day, and a large part of the reason is that it has a complete second-level refining inheritance. There are many refiners in the family, and they can earn a large amount of spiritual stones by selling magic tools every year. The clan leader is a second-level refiner who can make several second-level initial magic tools. Just forging 1 or 2 pieces a year can bring a lot of wealth. This shows the value of cultivating immortals. However, in front of him is a complete set of formation inheritance, and the quality has reached the peak of the 3rd level, far exceeding the family's refining inheritance. The value represented by it is beyond imagination. Even though Zhou Daoqing was determined, he still felt his breathing was heavy, and even the hand holding the stone slab couldn't help but tremble a little, and he made up his mind secretly. The matter of the formation inheritance must not be leaked. Otherwise, even the Zhou family can't protect me. That this matter must not be leaked, no matter who can tell it, including the elders in the clan. After all, it is too important. The fewer people who know about it, the better. As for the inheritance of the skills, there are 2 sets in total, or strictly speaking, it is 1 set of skills inheritance and 1 set of special secrets. The skills are Wu Tu Kun Yu Gong, which is of the 3rd grade upper grade, enough to practice to the peak of the late purple mansion. You should know that in the Zhou family, the best skills are only the 2nd grade upper grade, which can only be practiced to the peak of the late foundation building. A purple mansion skills is enough to create a purple mansion family, and its value is not small. Why is the place where the Zhou family is located called Qingshan area? It's because there are 3 purple mansion realm masters in Qingshan sect, and they have the purple mansion inheritance, so they can stand for 1,000 years. After carefully checking the characteristics of this skill, Zhou Daoqing couldn't help but be shocked. This is an earth attribute technique, with heavy, long, and pure mana, which can warm the body and tendons, strengthen the toughness of the body, and make the body far stronger than the same level. At the same time, it can purify mana, increase the storage of spiritual energy, and recover faster. Wu Tu Kun Yu Gong focuses on defense. On the basis of sacrificing a certain offensive ability, it greatly improves defense and durability, which is extremely suitable for a protracted war. This technique has another most important feature: practicing to the extreme can increase lifespan to a certain extent. If you succeed in building the foundation, you can add 10 years to your lifespan. If you can reach the Purple Palace, you can add another 50 years to your lifespan. once such a heaven-defying ability spreads to the market, it will inevitably set off a bloody storm. For cultivators, lifespan is the root of everything, and all efforts are for a longer lifespan, just for this one effect. The value of this Wu Tu Kun Yu Gong even crushes many fourth-level exercises. Zhou Daoqing couldn't help swallowing his saliva. If you practice this technique, won't you become a stinky, hard, and long-lived old turtle? I have to find a time to change the technique. Zhou Daoqing made a decision in his heart without any hesitation. The second-level lower-grade Yuanmai Ju and the third-level upper-grade Wu Tu Kun Yu Gong are not comparable at all. With excitement, Zhou Daoqing looked at the last set of secret techniques. After just a few glances, his expression became strange. Sun and Moon Sutra. It's a very grand name, but the content is extremely special. After studying it carefully, Zhou Daoqing speculated thoughtfully, this is a dual cultivation method? When yin and yang are combined, the secret method automatically operates, gathers the innate essence, and conceives the origin of all things, and can contain the innate purple energy. This secret method is of extremely high quality. Zhou Daoqing can't see through it at all. He only knows that it is an extremely advanced dual cultivation method. There is no need to actively practice it. Now Zhou Daoqing has mastered this secret method and has used it last night. Chapter 3, Irregular Daily and Menstrual Periods. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The effects are mainly divided into two parts. First, when combining with a woman, running the secret method can help improve strength and even break through the realm. Zhou Daoqing then realized that he could successfully break through to the late stage of qi refining, most likely because of the effect of the secret method. The second effect is that in the process of running the secret method, due to the combination of yin and yang, a trace of innate purple gas with the power of creation will be bred. Zhou Daoqing carefully checked and found that there was indeed a very tiny wisp of purple gas in the dantian, which was not affected by his own spiritual energy and was extremely mysterious. According to the secret method, the innate purple gas is extremely creative and is an extremely precious treasure between heaven and earth. It can give spirituality to natural materials and treasures and improve their quality. Zhou Daoqing has not tried it yet, so he doesn't know much about it. However, the sun and moon meridians also have great limitations. First of all, the process of accumulating innate purple gas is very difficult. If the two parties combine for the first time, they will directly accumulate a strand of innate purple gas. Just like this time, however, if they combine again in the future, the amount of innate purple gas born will be very weak, and it will take a long time to accumulate a strand again. Secondly, there are strict requirements for talent. Not every woman can successfully produce an innate purple qi when you combine with her for the first time. According to the secret method, if you want to produce innate purple qi when you combine with her for the first time next time, you must find a woman with higher talent than Zhao Yunji. After reading the information, Zhou Daoqing was stunned for a while, and was a little at a loss. This kind of secret method has a sense of impropriety, which is really against ethics and morality. Although the way of cultivating immortals pays attention to wealth, friends and land, everything goes too far. Once you fall into desire, it is an evil practice. After knowing the specialness of this secret method, Zhou Daoqing's first reaction was not excitement, but a palpitation. Then he immediately checked his thinking and mentality, and after confirming that there was no abnormality, he breathed a sigh of relief. If this secret method affects the mind, it will definitely not be used in the future. Even if there is no effect at all, you must be cautious to avoid going astray. I really didn't expect that I could get such a big gain from a small jade slip. Zhou Daoqing couldn't help but sigh, but he was more vigilant, especially when he thought of Zhao Yunji outside the practice room. He couldn't help but feel sad. If the two lived together, how could these secrets be hidden? Killing to silence them. Zhou Daoqing hurriedly shook his head and put aside this unrealistic idea, thinking that it was not necessary to do so for the time being. While he was thinking, the communication stone on his waist suddenly emitted a light. Grandfather asked me to go back to Tianqi Mountain. That the information came from the head of the Zhou family, Zhou Changyi, who was also Zhou Daoqing's great-grandfather. Zhou Daoqing had some guesses about why the head of the family wanted to find him. The Zhou family protected the Zhao family and asked him to marry Zhao Yunji as a concubine, which meant offending the Ma family. This matter was very serious. Although he was not the decision-maker, as the protagonist of this matter, it was difficult to completely avoid it. Zhou Daoqing put away the jade slip and walked out of the practice room. Zhao Yunji was already dressed, her cold face was a little pale, and her appearance was a little haggard. The head of the family asked us to go over there. Zhou Daoqing said calmly. Zhao Yunji nodded slightly, combed her hair, followed Zhou Daoqing, and walked out of the wooden house. She was only 24 years old, still a girl, but she had lost some of her immaturity and had a more gentle and elegant temperament. Looking at the young man in front of her, Zhao Yunji had a complicated expression, unwilling, humiliated, resentful, helpless, resigned, all mixed together. Under pressure from the Ma family of Hongfeng Lake, the Zhao family was like a candle in the wind and could no longer withstand any blows, so they resorted to this desperate measure and became the concubine of the Zhou family of Tianqi Mountain. But for Zhao Yunji, a proud daughter of heaven, a genius with 2 spiritual roots, who had been the center of attention since childhood, wasn't this another tragedy? Zhou Daoqing noticed Zhao Yunji's emotions, but didn't say much. It's useless to persuade many things. For the sake of family inheritance, there are too many things that have to be done. Which family doesn't have a family history that is worth singing and crying about? The Zhao family has it, and the Zhou family has it too. After packing up, Zhou Daoqing took Zhao Yunji back to Tianqi Mountain, meeting hall on the mountainside, meet the great-grandfather. Zhou Daoqing pushed the door open and bowed respectfully. No need to be polite, sit down with Yunji. The old man on the first seat was reading the scroll in his hand. His voice was low and old, but steady and powerful. Zhou Daoqing was neither humble nor arrogant, and led Zhao Yunji to sit down at the side. The person in front of him was the current head of the Zhou family, the eldest of the Chang generation, and Zhou Daoqing's grandfather, and a peak powerhouse of the 9th level of qi refining. He is one of the most powerful people in the Zhou family now, except for the foundation-building powerhouse. This time, the head of the family was responsible for protecting the Zhao family and marrying Zhao Yunji as a concubine for Zhou Daoqing. After a moment, Zhou Changyi put down the scroll in his hand. His eyes were as calm as an ancient well, and when he looked at Zhou Daoqing, a slight fluctuation suddenly appeared. Daoqing, have you made a breakthrough? Zhou Daoqing was shocked. He didn't expect that his great-grandfather could see through his strength with just one glance. Not daring to be negligent, Zhou Daoqing quickly responded, yes, great-grandfather, I felt the bottleneck loosened a few days ago, and I successfully broke through to the 7th level of qi refining yesterday. Not bad. Zhou Changyi nodded slightly, with a hint of approval in his eyes. The Zhou family's Dao generation is not gifted, with the highest being 3 spiritual roots, and no one with extraordinary talent or the prospect of breaking through the foundation. Zhou Daoqing, in this generation of the family, has performed well. He is calm and introverted, mature at a young age, and has always been the focus of the family's training. Zhou Changyi asked a few more questions, all about the trivial matters of daily cultivation. Zhou Daoqing was sweating in his heart, but based on the memory in his mind, he was able to answer fluently without revealing any flaws. After speaking, Zhou Changyi took a sip of tea, looked at Zhao Yunji below, and suddenly said, Zhao Yunji, the outer room has prepared some spiritual cakes. And spiritual tea. Go and try if it suits your taste and take some back later. Zhao Yunji immediately understood when she heard it. Zhou Changyi was sending her away because he had something private to talk about with Zhou Daoqing, so he left tactfully. When there were only 2 people left in the conference room, Zhou Changyi looked at Zhou Daoqing, put away the smile on his face, and asked seriously, Daoqing, what do you think about this woman and the Zhao family's affairs? Zhou Daoqing's heart trembled, and after a moment of consideration, he answered seriously, of course I will follow the family's arrangements. I think the family elders must have thought deeply about making such a decision, so there is no need for Daoqing to worry too much. Chapter 4. Did you have a good time last night? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Zhou Changyi frowned slightly, seeming a little dissatisfied with Zhou Daoqing's straightness, but he didn't give any warning, but said with a hint of ridicule, no need to worry about it. So you really don't care, I'm an innocent girl, and you were tormented that night? Did you have a good time last night? Zhou Daoqing looked embarrassed, and the hand that had just picked up the teacup stopped in mid-air. I didn't expect that my great-grandfather could even see this. But he couldn't express the pain in his heart. Does this have anything to do with me? I didn't even participate in the prelude, but it ended up being the climax. but I can't say that, after all, no matter what, my mouth was full of oil after eating last night, and I couldn't wipe it clean." Seeing the embarrassment on Zhou Daoqing's face, Zhou Changyi did not criticize him harshly, but just reminded him lightly, "The relationship between men and women is not the path to immortality. Remember, you must not forget to practice." "Daoqing understands." Zhou Daoqing responded awkwardly. Zhou Changyi took a sip of tea and said with a hint of approval in his eyes, "But that's okay. This woman is gifted with dual spiritual roots and has excellent qualifications. She must be arrogant and arrogant. If you can win her as soon as possible, it will be good for you. But please remember that this girl is not really marrying you, and she needs to be carefully controlled in daily life. If she can help you on your path to immortality, it will be a good thing. If not, don't worry too much." Zhou Daoqing broke into a cold sweat, secretly thinking that this was indeed the case. Within the Immortal Cultivation family, they have blood as a bond, and they naturally share life and death with each other, without much intrigue. But when it comes to foreigners, they are ruthless and cruel, and everything is based on their own interests. Protecting the Zhao family is not out of kindness, but because it is beneficial to the Zhou family, nothing more. As for Zhao Yunji, he was just a victim of the Zhao family's strategic mistakes. Using one person's future to secure the family's peace was a sure profit deal. Zhou Changyi's cold voice echoed in his ears, making Zhou Daoqing feel a chill in his heart, although from his memory, he had long known that his great-grandfather was a ruthless and capable person who always focused on the interests of the family, but when he actually came into contact with it, he still felt deeply. According to the meaning of what I just said, Zhao Yunji's existence is to serve himself. If he cannot, he can completely abandon it. This shows how cruel this elder is. Daoqing knows it well. Zhou Daoqing responded seriously. Zhou Changyi lectured a few more words, and finally seemed to remember something. He looked at Zhou Daoqing and said, "Daoqing, are you interested in learning weapon refining from your second uncle?" Zhou Daoqing thought for a moment and recalled the identity of his second uncle, Zhou Yonghan, a third-level foundation builder and a second-level low-level weapon refiner, is one of the true pillars of the Zhou family. In the past, Zhou Daoqing would naturally have wanted it, but now that he has a complete inheritance of weapon refining, he is naturally not interested in the second-level low-grade weapon refining skills. "Grandpa, I learned the knowledge of weapon refining in my early years, but my talent is extremely poor. I guess I am not good at it." There was a hint of vague disappointment on his face, but Zhou Changyi didn't say anything more and waved his hand casually. "Forget it, the road to immortality is personal cultivation. The family can't help you much, you have to walk the road yourself." "That's what Grandpa said. Go back. By the way, I will go back to my parents' house with Zhao Yunji in a while. Although we are concubines in name, we must not lose our etiquette." Zhou Daoqing nodded repeatedly, but after thinking for a moment, he suddenly raised his head and asked, "Well, Grandpa, I have a question, I don't know whether to ask it or not." Zhou Changyi frowned. "A son of the Zhou family, why do you still need to hesitate? Just ask." "Zhao Yunji's father is from the Zhao family and is of the same generation as my grandfather. In terms of seniority, are Zhao Yunji and I different generations?" Hiss. "Then how should I call the head of the Zhao family?" Zhou Changyi's expression froze, and he vaguely realized that he had overlooked something. He had known for a long time that Zhao Yunji was 3 years older than Zhou Daoqing, but he always thought he was a peer, so he never considered the issue of seniority. For the world of immortality, morality and ethics are very important and are the foundation of a family. It's only now that I think about it carefully that I realize there is a problem. Zhou Changyi suddenly thought that when the head of the Zhao family came to ask for help, he seemed to want Zhao Yunji to marry a member of the Zhou family. The Zhou family has a total of 40 characters, which means the source of immortality will be more revitalized, the Xuanhuan era will be everlasting, the Taoism will be bright and benevolent, the light will be on from ancient times to the present, the golden cauldron will be combined with the elixir, in the creation of longevity. Nourishment will bind the heart, and the empty palace will be wise. Now it is Yong, Chang, Shou and Dao. However, he only thought that the head of the Zhao family had lost his ambition. How could there be any reason for a young girl in her early 20s to marry a group of middle-aged people in their 40s and 50s? So, the person was finally selected as Zhou Daoqing. Looking back, the head of the Zhao family looked uncertain at that time, and Zhao Yunji's face was even more pale, full of humiliation and resentment. In the end, he struggled for several days and finally agreed under the pressure of the Ma family. If you think about it carefully, the Zhou family's behavior seems to be easily misunderstood. Forget it, you don't need to worry about this matter. Go back and practice hard. However, neither Zhou Changyi nor Zhou Daoqing thought that the insult to the Zhao family would cause a lot of trouble in the future. End the conversation. Before Zhou Daoqing went back, he stopped by the General Affairs Hall to receive this month's salary and submit the tasks for last month. As a child of the Zhou family, you only need to complete some simple family tasks to receive spiritual stones and spiritual grains, which are considered family benefits. Zhou Daoqing's daily task is to plant a first-level low-grade spiritual grass, Huanya grass. Huanya grass is the main raw material for making first-level talisman paper. Although the family is not good at talismans, it can be traded to the Wang family of Guizhou Lake in exchange for some refining materials. Zhou Daoqing plants 1 acre of Huanya grass, 2 seasons a year, and needs to achieve 70% per acre yield to meet the basic requirements. The reward is 5 gene of first-level medium-grade spiritual grain, plus 5 low-grade spiritual stones. In the past year, Zhou Daoqing's harvest was good, reaching about 80%. In addition to the basic reward, he also received 2 family contribution points. 1 contribution value is equivalent to a spiritual stone. However, Zhou Daoqing does not plan to continue planting Huanya grass. Although this spiritual grass is easy to plant and easy to survive, the income is indeed not high. In the past few years, Zhou Daoqing has worked diligently every year, and has only saved a total of 52 low-grade spiritual stones and 10 family contribution points. Moreover, a large part of it was privately donated by his grandfather Zhou Xuanhuan, who was the elder of the family. So this time, Zhou Daoqing did not accept the family mission, but planned to plant another more valuable spiritual grass, Moonlight grass. Zhou Daoqing went to the market in his early years and accidentally bought a spiritual wine recipe called Moonlight Brew. This wine is of high quality, first-class medium grade, mainly made of moonlight grass, rich in spiritual power, and helps to speed up cultivation. If you plant moonlight grass, make your own wine, and then sell it to the family, your income will increase a lot in the future. Chapter 5 Moonlight Brewing Recipe. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Moonlight grass, a first-grade medium-grade spiritual grass, is much more expensive than the seeds of yellow bud grass, and cost Zhou Daoqing 3 low-grade spiritual stones. In addition, Zhou Daoqing gritted his teeth and spent a full 50 low-grade spiritual stones to buy a set of materials for setting up a spirit gathering array. Among the first-grade low-grade arrays, the spirit gathering array is the most widely applicable and the most helpful array for cultivation. It can greatly increase the concentration of spiritual energy within a certain range and is very suitable for use in the qi refining period. Although it is only a first-grade low-grade, it also has a great effect on the late stage of qi refining. If you want to find a formation master to set up a spirit gathering array in the cultivation world, at least 200 spiritual stones are required. Not including the cost of materials, this is still unsaleable. After all, in the cultivation world, the number of formation masters is too rare, and it is not an exaggeration to say that it is 1 in a billion. At least Zhou Daoqing has never heard of any family nearby that has a formation inheritance. On the contrary, there are many families that have the inheritance of talismans, alchemy, and refining, but the proportion is not large, and the skills of cultivating immortals are very precious. After taking the materials for the gathering spirit array and the seeds of the moon grass, Zhou Daoqing took Zhao Yunji back after confirming that they were correct. After returning to his residence, Zhou Daoqing breathed a sigh of relief. This strange world gave him a lot of pressure, and it was not until he returned to the familiar cottage that the pressure was relieved. By the way, he can also take a good look at his own yard. This place is hidden deep in the mountains, the location is extremely hidden, and almost no one comes and goes. Occasionally, there will be monsters, most of which are first-level inferior. The yard is surrounded by dense forests, with light clouds and mist, and the environment is very beautiful. The spiritual energy is not abundant, but it is not thin. The yard is not big, with a bedroom, a kitchen, a living room, and a practice room, a total of no more than 50 square meters. Outside the house is an acre of spiritual field that is specially irrigated. The quality is only the first grade lower grade. It was used to grow yellow bud grass before, but it is still abandoned. Next to the spiritual field, there are also several green bamboos planted. This kind of bamboo is the first grade middle grade green spiritual bamboo, a natural treasure with a probability of reaching the first grade upper grade. This is the highest quality material in Zhou Daoqing's hands. No one else, although it has been carefully cared for, it has not grown well and has never reached the first grade upper grade, which is a big regret. Looking around again, this small courtyard in the deep mountains is indeed simple and comfortable, and the location is hidden, which is very suitable for seclusion and cultivation. Zhou Daoqing nodded secretly, and was very satisfied, but suddenly looking back, seeing Zhao Yunji behind him, he couldn't help but be more vigilant. Miss Yunji, are you living with me too? Zhao Yunji paused, his face froze, and he didn't know what to say for a while. I couldn't help but secretly guess the meaning behind this sentence, humiliating me. Or teasing me. Just as her face was gloomy and her thoughts were drifting away, Zhou Daoqing still said politely, Miss Zhao Yunji, we are still young, and we should focus on cultivation. How about I build a separate courtyard for you in the back mountain? Now he has too many secrets. The third level formation inheritance, the third level top grade skills, the secret method of the sun and moon, any of which will bring disaster to the Zhou family if leaked, so he has to be cautious. Letting Zhao Yunji live somewhere else is also to prevent her from snooping into his secrets. Zhao Yunji was a little surprised. You don't want to leave me here, that she still remembers what happened last night. Zhou Daoqing didn't respect her at all. When he sent her to him that night, he didn't hesitate to sleep with her. Now, she has even accepted the humiliating fate she is about to face. Zhou Daoqing was stunned by the question, and looked back at Zhao Yunji up and down. He was indeed a little moved, so he calmly added, if I need, I will come to you again. Zhou Daoqing was still very vigilant about Zhao Yunji. After all, Zhao Yunji's dual spiritual root talent has reached the peak of the 7th level of qi refining, and her strength is not weak at all, and I have just broken through the 7th level of qi refining. If a fight really breaks out, I will not be able to fight back. It was just Zhou Daoqing's unconscious words that made Zhao Yunji look a little ugly, but she didn't say anything, and walked silently to the back mountain. She also wanted to live separately. Now, the only thing that supports her standing here is her dual spiritual root talent. If she can successfully build a foundation, she will naturally be able to get rid of the current situation and don't have to be here, at that time. Whether she returns to the Zhao family and becomes the ancestor of the Zhao family, or leaves alone and becomes a casual cultivator, it will be up to her. After all, no matter how powerful the Zhou family is, it is just a foundation-building family. They will never be willing to offend another foundation-building strongman, and there is a high probability that they will take the initiative to win him over. But breaking through to the foundation-building stage, how can it be an easy thing? The Zhao family is weak and cannot provide her with help, and the Zhou family could not provide a large amount of cultivation resources for her, an outsider, not to mention the extremely precious resource of foundation-building pills. Therefore, Zhao Yunji could only rely on her own efforts to break through. Even if she had the talent of dual spiritual roots, without the foundation-building pill, the probability of breaking through was no more than 10%, but this ethereal hope was the last sustenance in her heart. The two of them had their own thoughts, but they lived in peace. Zhou Daoqing returned to the yard. First, he planted the moon grass, and then irrigated and fertilized it according to the spiritual grass planting book. The planting of spiritual grass is not a simple matter, and it contains profound and complex knowledge. Otherwise, there would not be a profession like spiritual plant master. The higher the quality of the spiritual plant, the more careful it needs to be. If you are not careful, it will affect its activity, or even wither and die, resulting in huge losses. Fortunately, the cultivation of Xuanhuan grass is not complicated. Zhou Daoqing spent a lot of effort and finally arranged it all. After doing all this, Zhou Daoqing shifted his gaze and looked at the green spirit bamboo in the corner. He didn't have many resources. In addition to the spiritual grains for daily consumption, the only precious ones were the formula of Xuanhuan wine and the green spirit bamboo. The brewing of Xuanhuan wine needs to wait until the Xuanhuan grass matures before it can be gradually tried, and the green spirit bamboo in front of him, in Zhou Daoqing's eyes, may be much more valuable than Yuehua wine, because in the array inheritance obtained, there is a set of arrays called Green Spirit Sword Array. The quality is as high as the first grade upper grade, the power is extremely terrible, and the main material happens to be the first grade upper grade Green Spirit Bamboo. Generally speaking, the power of the array will be stronger than its quality. For example, the power of a low-grade first-level attack and killing formation will reach the level of a medium-grade first level, which is the level of the 4th or 5th level of Qi training. The power of a medium-grade first-level formation can reach the 7th or 8th level of practice. It is conceivable that the power of a high-grade first-level Biling sword formation is absolutely extraordinary, and it is very likely to reach the 9th level of Qi training. This is equivalent to the strength of a family elder, and it often takes decades of training to barely reach this level. The 9th level of Qi training is enough to protect a region, or even to open up a Qi training family. Chapter 6. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Thinking of this, Zhou Daoqing felt his heart pounding, and he could not suppress his joy. He looked at the green bamboo with more and more cautious eyes, but the next moment, he seemed to feel a little regretful. Now the green bamboo has not yet fully matured, it is only the first grade middle grade, and it is still a long way to go to break through to the first grade upper grade. But the next moment, an item suddenly popped up in Zhou Daoqing's mind: the innate purple air. He suddenly recalled the role of the innate purple air. The innate purple air is extremely lucky, and it is an extremely precious treasure between heaven and earth. It can give spirituality to the treasures of heaven and earth and improve their quality. Although the introduction is extremely simple, Zhou Daoqing accurately captured 4 words: improve quality. Although I don't know what the improvement effect is, since the secret method is praised as magical, it must be impossible that it has no effect at all. Do you want to try it? Zhou Daoqing thought, but soon made a decision: no matter how precious the resources are, they can only play their effects after use, otherwise what is the difference between them and garbage? Moreover, if we only follow the introduction of the secret method but have never actually used it, how can we truly understand the effect of the innate purple qi? Without hesitation, Zhou Daoqing mobilized the mana in his body and slowly pulled the innate purple qi in the dantian out of his body. The innate purple qi is very fine, like a thin silk thread. If it were not for the faint purple color, it would be difficult to see with the naked eye. The breath it exudes is indeed extremely mysterious and unpredictable. It appears and disappears in the perception of the spiritual consciousness, and it is impossible to explore its essence. Zhou Daoqing looked solemn, carefully pulling the purple qi, slowly approaching the green bamboo, as if feeling the breath of the innate purple qi. The green bamboo trembled involuntarily, and the not-so-dense leaves made a rustling sound. Under Zhou Changyi's nervous gaze, the purple breath sank into the green bamboo and disappeared completely. It's gone now. But when Zhou Daoqing was wondering, he saw a strong green light emanating from the body of the biling bamboo in front of him. With a faint hint of purple light, the strong vitality instantly spread, and the breath that was exuded alone made Zhou Daoqing feel refreshed, and he felt that his meridians were being caressed by the breeze, which made him feel indescribably comfortable and relaxed. The biling bamboo in front of him underwent a transformation in a short period of time. The biling bamboo, which was only 3 feet high and as thick as a baby's arm, actually grew to more than 10 feet tall, and its diameter more than doubled. The originally sparse bamboo leaves also became dense, emerald green like jasper, and made a rustling sound in the breeze. The biggest change was the bamboo trunk of the biling bamboo, which turned into a deep green color, emitting a bright green light, and its texture became as smooth and warm as jasper. It seemed that this was not a bamboo, but a work of art carved entirely from beautiful jade. Standing quietly in the courtyard, around it, there was a rich spiritual energy, and the concentration of spiritual energy in the entire courtyard was increased by more than 50%. Looking at this scene, Zhou Daoqing couldn't help swallowing his saliva, and couldn't speak for a long time. He was extremely shocked by the changes in the green bamboo. Although he had never seen a first-grade top-grade green bamboo, Zhou Daoqing was sure that the green bamboo in front of him was definitely not an ordinary first-grade top-grade. He had never heard of a first-grade top-grade spiritual plant that could release such a rich spiritual energy. Under the transformation of the innate purple energy, this green bamboo seemed to have undergone a drastic change. At this time, the quality has completely reached the first grade top grade, even close to the second grade. What was even more surprising was that Zhou Daoqing accidentally looked at the ground and saw a cracked bulge, and a wisp of green tender leaves came out of the ground. Sweep away the soil and take a look. Biling bamboo shoots. Zhou Daoqing's voice was full of joy, and he couldn't wait to come forward to check. Is this the effect of the innate purple qi? It really is the fortune of heaven and earth, it's really. It's impossible to describe his feelings at this time. Zhou Daoqing knew that he had picked up a treasure. Biling bamboo shoots can only grow in places where there are a lot of biling bamboos. It is generally difficult to reproduce on its own in ordinary families. It is a blessing to be able to grow one or two plants, unexpectedly. After all, with this biling bamboo shoots can be reproduced. Zhou Daoqing counted carefully and found that there were 6 bulges, which means that there were a full 6 biling bamboo shoots distributed in the surrounding soil. Under the influence of biling bamboo, the quality of the surrounding soil was also improved. From the first grade low quality to the first grade medium quality, in theory, the first grade high quality spiritual plants need to be planted in the first grade high quality soil. However, because the concentration of spiritual energy nearby is too low, it is difficult to reach the first class upper grade without external influence. Zhou Daoqing couldn't help but worry. If he wanted to maintain the normal growth of this green bamboo, he had to increase the soil concentration. But now he was short of money and had no resources to irrigate the spiritual field, so he could only make plans in the future. In addition, this green bamboo has been transformed by the innate purple qi, and it seems that it can no longer be called green bamboo. Zhou Daoqing decided to call it purple green bamboo. Back in the practice room, Zhou Daoqing sat cross-legged to adjust his breath, restore his fluctuating emotions, and try to calm his thoughts as much as possible. Which one should I learn first, Wu Tu Kuan Yu Gong or the formation technique? Gongfa is the foundation of practice. A good practice method is enough to determine the lifelong practice path of a practitioner. Although Yuan Mai Ju is not bad, it is a world apart from Wu Tu Kuan Yu Gong. If you change the technique as soon as possible and practice again, it will definitely be of great benefit. However, the formation skills are equally important. Without abundant resources to assist in practice, it is also difficult to go far. After some consideration, Zhou Daoqing decided to rebuild the technique first. The place for practice here is not absolutely hidden. Whether it is the family, grandfather Zhou Xuanhuan, or Zhao Yunji, they all know that if there is suddenly an extra spirit gathering array here, it is really inexplicable. It is better to rebuild the technique first. It is important to improve your own strength. The technique is the foundation. Zhou Daoqing made up his mind and took out Wu Tu Kuan Yu Gong from his arms. After studying the essence of the technique and ensuring that the technique is complete and can be practiced, Zhou Daoqing began to disperse his cultivation, feeling the strength of the 7th level of qi training, slowly reduced to the 1st level of qi training, and finally became an ordinary person. As if something extremely important was lost, a strong sense of uneasiness enveloped his heart. Trying his best to calm down this feeling of uneasiness and calm down his fluctuating mood, he rested for an hour before starting to practice Wu Tu Kuan Yu Gong again. Undoubtedly, the practice of Wu Tu Kuan Yu Gong is more difficult and the content is more profound. However, Zhou Daoqing's comprehension is amazing. It took him a short time to understand the content of Wu Tu Kuan Yu Gong, which greatly increased his practice speed. And there is another very important factor. Chapter 7 Can Miss Zhao help me break through again? You are listening at novelfull.audio. After all, this is a recultivation. You only need to walk the path you have walked before. The original experience is still there, so there is no bottleneck. You only need to accumulate spiritual energy, so the speed will be much faster. For the next period of time, Zhou Daoqing was completely devoted to cultivation. Without sufficient strength, he really felt insecure. Everyday life is eating and practicing. Occasionally, he takes time to water the moon grass, which is comfortable and leisurely. On the first day, from an ordinary person with no cultivation, he practiced to the 1st level of qi refining again. It took a month to break through from the 1st level of qi refining to the 4th level of qi refining. At this time, the speed of cultivation slowed down significantly, and the spiritual valley had been eaten. And the speed of cultivation was reduced by about 50%, Zhou Daoqing had to sigh. That wealth, friends, and land were indeed indispensable. The spiritual valley may seem inconspicuous, but every time you eat it before and after cultivation, it can greatly supplement the body's nutritional deficiencies, thereby improving the efficiency of cultivation. If you can use it all the time, it will be of great benefit to the body. It's a pity that the spiritual grains are few in number and expensive. 1 pound of first-grade medium-quality Huangli rice is worth 3 low-grade spiritual stones. Zhou Daoqing really can't afford it. In order to maintain the speed of cultivation, Zhou Daoqing left the practice room and chose to stay under the purple qi green bamboo to practice, relying on the spiritual energy of this spiritual plant. In this way, the effect of cultivation is really good. After 6 months, Zhou Daoqing once again improved his strength and recovered to the peak of the 6th level of qi refining. Moreover, his strength is much stronger than before, the total amount of mana has more than doubled, and the unique Wu Earth spiritual energy is thick and long, as solid as a mountain, with extremely strong defense. The muscles and bones of the whole body have also become more condensed and solid under the nurturing of the Wu Earth spiritual energy. Just relying on the flesh, he has a good strength. In terms of comprehensive strength, even if facing himself at the 7th level of qi refining, he can be invincible. As for why it is said to be undefeated, not defeated, this is mainly because of the characteristics of Wu Tu Kun Yugong, extremely strong defense. Even if it can withstand the attack of the late stage of qi training, it is a pity that the offensive ability is seriously insufficient. However, Zhou Daoqing is already very satisfied. After all, there is no perfect method. If there is surplus, there must be deficiency. Now, standing in front of the bottleneck of the late stage of qi training again, Zhou Daoqing bowed his head and thought, with only one doubt in his mind. How did you break through this bottleneck of the late stage of qi training? That every bottleneck before has a clear memory, and it is not difficult to break through. However, the memory ends at the 6th level of qi training. After all, when breaking through to the 7th level of qi training, it was completely assisted by the Sun and Moon Sutra, and there was no experience at all. Zhou Daoqing tried many times, but still no effect. At this time, he also understood in his heart that it was not because of his lack of understanding, but because his cultivation speed was too fast. He cultivated to the 6th level of qi training in just 7 months. The mana has not been precipitated, and the breath is relatively empty, so the bottleneck will appear. Now there are only 2 choices. First, use time to hone, wait for the magic power to settle for a period of time, gradually solidify, and then naturally break through. Second, use the old method to break through. After thinking about it, Zhou Daoqing frowned, and couldn't help but secretly alert. How can I be lazy and neglectful when practicing? But then he thought, how can I be lazy and neglectful when using the secret method I got by my own ability to break through? Ridiculous. The moon is bright and the stars are sparse, and the shadows of the trees are swaying. In the back mountain, there is a monotonous courtyard, and the candlelight is peaceful and calm. Dong dong dong. Zhou Daoqing knocked on the wooden door. What's the matter? A clear voice sounded. Miss Zhao Yunji, I have some doubts in my practice, and I have been thinking for a long time but can't solve it. I wonder if you can ask the young lady to solve my doubts. Zhao Yunji frowned slightly, but still opened the door. She was wearing a thin plain dress for practice, her long hair was floating, and the quiet breath lingered around her. It is true that one cannot understand the path of cultivation by just thinking hard. Wealth, friends, methods and land are all indispensable, and mutual learning is inevitable. Please come in, Mr. Zhou. Zhou Daoqing showed joy on his face and walked forward quickly. With the help of Miss Zhao, this bottleneck will definitely be a piece of cake. Thank you in advance. Zhao Yunji's eyebrows were relaxed, her breath was like orchid, and her voice was a little softer. You and I have the same level of cultivation. Yunji dare not guarantee that she can solve Mr. Zhou's problem. Zhou Daoqing stepped in and waved his hand, saying, for Miss Zhao, this matter is just a piece of cake. Mr. Zhou, you are too kind. A quarter of an hour later, heavy breathing sounds came from the room, intertwined with each other, sometimes long, sometimes rapid. The long candlelight swayed, dim and unclear under the moonlight. When the moon was at the top, the birds chirped across the night sky. The voice, which was still breathing, was heavy and nasal, but extremely cold. Is this what you call an unsolved doubt? Zhou Daoqing calmed down his breath and felt the powerful energy surging in his body. He felt refreshed and his meridians were opened up. Once again, he successfully broke through to the late stage of refining. Hearing Zhao Yunji's voice, Zhou Daoqing coughed lightly and touched his nose, but still said shamelessly, just as Miss Zhao said, money, friends, methods and land are indispensable. Friends also mean teachers. Thank you for your teaching this time. Zhou has gained a lot. Zhao Yunji took a deep breath and felt a blockage in her chest. She had the urge to slap the person in front of her, but she was still shocked when she felt Zhou Daoqing's breath after his breakthrough. Could it be that she really had this effect? She didn't expect that Zhou Daoqing actually broke through in the process and reached the late stage of qi refining in one fell swoop. The extremely heavy breath made her, a late 7th level qi refining expert, feel a huge pressure. Although the process was a bit tortuous and did not develop as expected, the goal seemed to have been achieved. Zhou Daoqing did succeed in breaking through, and all the doubts and problems he encountered were solved. Zhao Yunji recalled that the process seemed to be, taking things out of the bag. Feeling happy, Zhou Daoqing returned to the courtyard where he lived while the sky was slightly bright. The weather in the mountains and forests was a little cool, shrouded in pale white mist, with faint bird calls, and a clear and quiet atmosphere everywhere. Zhou Daoqing was in a very good mood after successfully breaking through this time and reaching the late stage of qi refining again. Looking at his small courtyard, it looked clean and tidy, and a new batch of yuehua grass was planted in the spiritual field. In the past 7 months, the moon grass has been harvested once. Now, just 1 month after planting, new green shoots have emerged. The yield of 1 acre of moon grass can reach about 500 kilograms, but the quality of the spiritual field is only some inferior, so only a little over 300 kilograms were harvested in total. Zhou Daoqing left a part of it as seeds for the next wave of planting. As for the other moon grass, it was cleaned and stored uniformly. In recent days, Zhou Daoqing bought dozens of wine jars and other materials needed for wine making, and carefully studied the formula of moon wine. The formula of spiritual wine is very valuable. The formula not only includes the raw material ratio of spiritual wine, but also the manufacture of wine yeast and the detailed process of wine making. Among them, the manufacture of wine yeast is the most complicated. Chapter 8 First Brewing. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Although the process is relatively complicated, the recipe is detailed and all the steps that need attention are carefully marked, so the difficulty is reduced a lot. According to the steps in the recipe, Zhou Daoqing did not dare to make any changes, and tried his best to make every step meet the requirements. The quality of raw materials, water quality, temperature, humidity, and texture of the wine jar are all good. It took 3 days to brew more than 300 kilograms of yuehua grass, which filled 12 large wine jars. Although the quantity is large, after a series of fermentation and purification, the actual yuehua wine that can be brewed is actually only 1/10, which is about 30 kilograms, almost half a jar. Zhou Daoqing has learned about the market price. 1 kilogram of first-level medium-grade spirit wine costs about 5 to 10 low-grade spirit stones. 30 kilograms of yuehua wine, the lowest price is about 150 low-grade spirit stones. In a year, yuehua grass can be harvested for 2 seasons, which means a total of 300 spirit stones can be earned. Zhou Daoqing couldn't help but get excited. He didn't expect that the profit from yuehua brewing would be so great and more valuable than he thought. If he could add a few acres of spiritual fields, the profit from spiritual stones might be even higher. However, the matter of adding spiritual fields still needs to be considered in the long run. Just this 1 acre of first-grade lower-quality spiritual fields, Zhou Daoqing needs the support of his grandfather Zhou Xuanhuan to barely irrigate it. If he relied on his own wealth, it would be beyond his ability, let alone expanding the spiritual fields. Zhou Daoqing is having a headache with this 1 acre of spiritual fields now, because the quality of the spiritual fields is only first-grade lower quality, while yuehua grass is a first-grade middle-quality spiritual plant. If it is planted in 1 or 2 waves, it is okay. Long-term planting will seriously affect the fertility of the spiritual fields. If it is not supplemented in time, it is likely that this acre of spiritual fields will be completely abandoned. The arrangement of the gathering spirit array still needs to be put on the agenda. After repeated thinking, Zhou Daoqing still placed his hope on the gathering spirit array. If there is a gathering spirit array, all the problems he faces can be solved. The spiritual field has sufficient spiritual energy to nourish it, so it can safely and boldly plant Xuanhuan grass, including the first-grade purple air green bamboo, and the newly sprouted green bamboo shoots, which can also thrive. At the same time, his own cultivation speed can be improved, which is completely beneficial without any harm. If there is only one harm, it is that it is easy for others to discover the existence of the formation, but Zhou Daoqing clearly knows that he must make use of the formation as a cultivation technique, otherwise the probability of breaking through the foundation building period must be extremely slim. He hardly expects to get a foundation building pill from the family. The auction price of the foundation building pill is no less than 50,000 low-grade spirit stones. Even if the Zhou family exhausts all its strength, it is difficult to buy it. Taking a step back, even if the family buys it, it will be allocated to the foundation building seedlings in the family, and it is highly likely that it will not reach him. Zhou Daoqing can only accumulate spirit stones through his own efforts and try to accumulate 50,000 spirit stones before the age of 70. The most suitable age to break through the foundation is before the age of 70. Once you are over 70, your body functions begin to fail, and the spiritual energy in your meridians dissipates, making it difficult to break through. Now that you have the skills of formations, resources are no longer a problem. Among wealth, friends, and land, wealth comes first. As long as you have enough resources, even the poorest qualifications can force a foundation building period, so, Zhou Daoqing made a new plan for himself. The most important goal at present is to break through to the peak of the 9th level of qi refining as soon as possible, conservatively estimated. With his own qualifications, plus the benefits brought by the formation, he can guarantee a breakthrough to the peak of the 9th level of qi refining before the age of 40. Next, there will be a full 30 years to prepare for the foundation. More than 30 days passed in a blink of an eye. Zhou Daoqing devoted himself to cultivation, slightly closed. His eyes, and his breathing at the tip of his nose showed a certain rhythm. As he inhaled and exhaled, there were dots of earthy yellow light spots around him, and a layer of light yellow enveloped his body. As time passed, the yellow light spots poured into his body. Zhou Daoqing opened his eyes, and a gleam of light shot out of his eyes. Finally stabilized at the 7th level of qi refining. Zhou Daoqing exhaled lightly, and a smile appeared on his thin face. The speed of practicing Wu Tu Kun Yugong is not fast. It is mainly based on the accumulation of time, constantly compressing the mana in the body, making the mana more heavy and long-lasting, compared with ordinary exercises. Although the speed of absorbing spiritual energy is faster, the total amount of spiritual energy required to absorb by Wu Tu Kun Yugong is also more, so the speed of practice is only normal. Zhou Daoqing suddenly frowned, as if he sensed something, and looked outside the yard with a fixed gaze, before seeing the person. A vigorous and powerful voice came in first. Ha ha ha, Daoqing grandson, the spiritual energy in your yard is much richer. Zhou Daoqing saw the person coming and instantly showed a surprised expression. Grandpa, are you back? The person's face was old and his hair was white, but his eyes were bright, and it was hard to hide the abundant spirit. This person is Zhou Daoqing's grandfather Zhou Xuanhuan. Daoqing, have you practiced well during the time when Grandpa was away? Zhou Xuanhuan was very satisfied with this grandson, but he still asked sternly. Zhou Xuanhuan has 4 sons, but only one has spiritual roots, that is, Zhou Daoqing's second uncle. However, he only has 5 spiritual roots, and he practiced to the middle stage of qi training at the age of more than 50. Now he has been stuck in the 6th level of qi training for more than 10 years without any movement, and his immortal path is extremely slim, so all Zhou Xuanhuan's hopes are placed on his grandson Zhou Daoqing. Seeing that Zhou Daoqing's magic power had improved a lot and had stabilized at the 7th level of qi training, Zhou Xuanhuan couldn't help but stroke his beard and laughed happily, throwing a package over. Daoqing, you have an outstanding talent for cultivation, much better than your second uncle, and you are expected to build a foundation for immortality. Here are 5 caddies of green jade spiritual grain and 50 spirit stones. Remember to practice well and don't worry about the resources for cultivation. After taking the package, Zhou Daoqing was moved and said with a wry smile, Grandpa, you don't have to worry about my cultivation resources. Just take it if I give it to you. Zhou Changyuan blew his beard and glared at Zhou Daoqing. Don't be complacent, how can it be easy to cultivate immortality? More cultivation resources, naturally more hope. Hearing this, Zhou Daoqing didn't say much and accepted 5 caddies of green jade spiritual grain, which is also a first-level medium-grade spiritual grain, and is of better quality than the Huanli rice distributed by the family. In the market, 1 caddy of green jade spiritual grain costs 5 low-grade spirit stones. Even Zhou Changyuan, as a family elder, can't bear to eat it often. Grandpa, please stay and have dinner with us today, so you can taste your grandson's cooking skills. Zhou Changyuan waved his hand and said, Grandpa just came to see you. After the ancestor worship is over today, I will return to Taima Mountain. The Chen family is eyeing us covetously, and only your 5th grandfather is guarding us. I am really worried. Zhou Daoqing also knew the importance of the matter and did not try to keep him. The importance of Taima Mountain to the Zhou family was no less than that of a foundation-building cultivator. Chapter 9, Island in the Lake. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Taima Mountain is extremely important to the Zhou family. There is a first-grade upper-grade spiritual vein on the mountain, where a large number of black ironwoods grow, ranging from first-grade lower-grade to second-grade lower-grade. The highest quality trees have reached the second-grade middle-grade, which is an excellent material for refining. The Yang family started out by refining weapons, and they have a great demand for refining materials. For many years, the sale of magic tools has been the pillar industry of the family, and the annual income from the sale of magic tools accounts for 70% of the family's total income. And the materials needed for refining can be supported by Taima Mountain. It greatly reduces the burden on the family and does not need to purchase a large amount of materials from other families. Therefore, the family has always been very concerned about Taima Mountain, and a total of 2 elders have been sent to Taima Mountain all year round. They are the 3rd elder Zhou Changyuan and the 5th elder Zhou Changhai, both of whom are at the 9th level of qi refining and are the backbone of the family. Only occasionally return to the family at important moments such as ancestor worship. In Zhou Daoqing's impression, he rarely saw his grandfather since he was a child. After being reminded by Zhou Changyuan, Zhou Daoqing calculated the time and found that it was almost the end of the year, and it was the annual family ancestor worship day. The so-called family ancestor worship is mainly to worship ancestors, settle accounts, look back on the past and look forward to a better future. It has been a tradition of the Zhou family for many years. Hey, Daoqing, where is the girl from the Zhao family? Isn't she living with you? Zhou Changyuan suddenly looked into the house and did not see Zhao Yunji, so he asked with a little doubt. Zhou Daoqing accepted a Taoist partner, and Zhou Changyuan must know it. Even without the nod of his grandfather Zhou Changyuan, the head of the family Zhou Changyi would not dare to make a decision for Zhou Daoqing without authorization. Zhou Daoqing was at a loss for words, so he made up a reason. Miss Zhao and I are still young, and we should focus on cultivation at present, so Miss Zhao set up a small courtyard in the back mountain and lived separately from me on weekdays. Not bad. Zhou Changyuan patted his shoulder with satisfaction, and a trace of relief flashed in his eyes. You have such a mind at a young age, and you will definitely achieve great things in the future. After a few simple conversations, Zhou Daoqing called Zhao Yunji and returned to Tianqi Mountain with Zhou Changyuan to worship their ancestors. At noon, most of the Zhou family cultivators had returned to the Tianqi Mountain Ancestral Temple, and the ancestor Zhou Changyi summarized the income and expenditure of the Zhou family this year. This year, the Zhou family's total income is more than 92,000 low-grade spirit stones, including the income from the sale of first-level magic tools, the income from the market shops, the income from hunting monsters, and the income from various garrisons. The total expenditure is more than 67,000 low-grade spirit stones, including the purchase of magic tool materials, elixirs, talismans, etc., as well as the salary of family members. In general, the net income this year is 25,000 low-grade spirit stones. Hearing this number, many elders of the older generation frowned and their faces became a little ugly. The 6th elder Zhou Changguang couldn't help asking, "Brother, this income has increased a lot compared to last year, why is the net income reduced? Is there something wrong with this account?" Someone else echoed, "Yes, uncle, in previous years, the family's expenditure was mostly below 50,000 spirit stones. Why is it as high as more than 67,000 this year? It is indeed much lower than in previous years. Family income and expenditure are the foundation of the family, so the slightly older members of the family are very concerned about these data. Although the net income of 25,000 spirit stones is not a small number, many people know that this is only a figure on the books, and it is difficult to save so much. After all, a large family needs to buy some expensive resources with the spirit stones accumulated at the end of the year. For example, it is necessary to purchase some second-level cultivation resources for Xuanhuan, the head of the Zhou family and the only foundation building expert, or the purchase of some family businesses, such as shops in the market, also requires a lot of spirit stones. These expenses are indispensable and consume a lot. In the end, the spirit stones that can actually be accumulated may not even be 10,000 spirit stones. For a small foundation building family like the Zhou family, there is another most important thing that runs through the whole process, which requires the efforts of generations to complete: buying foundation building pills. If you want to maintain the identity of a foundation building family, the inheritance of foundation building cultivators cannot be broken, and you must ensure that there are foundation building experts sitting in Tianqi Mountain in every era. Therefore, every few decades, the family needs to raise a large amount of spirit stones to buy foundation building pills, which will almost consume all their savings. If you succeed in breaking through, it will be fine, and it can extend the life of the Zhou family for 100 years. If the breakthrough still fails after using the foundation building pill, then the efforts of decades will be in vain. Just like 10 years ago, the family purchased a foundation building pill, almost breaking their bones, trying to add another foundation building master to the Zhou family. Unfortunately, in the end, the second elder failed to break through due to an unstable foundation and a problem with his mentality, and decades of accumulation turned into clouds. This forced the Zhou family to tighten their belts and live for the next few decades. Many family elders have not received salaries for many years, and their strength is difficult to improve. This is not the worst case. If the Zhou family cannot produce another foundation building master before the death of the third uncle, it will lead to a gap in the foundation building period cultivators, and the Zhou family will change from a foundation building family to a qi training family. At that time, if you want to raise 50,000 low-grade spirit stones again with the income of the qi training family, it will not only take more than 10 years to complete, but it may take more than 30 years. Moreover, this is still a situation where the weather is good and there are spirit stones accumulated every year. If the family is hit or targeted by hostile forces, like the Zhao family, it is likely to fall into a situation where income is not enough to cover expenses. Therefore, whenever there is any fluctuation in the family income, the elders will be extremely vigilant. Facing the doubts of the crowd, Zhou Changyi's face did not change, and his voice was calm, quiet. This matter is about to be notified to everyone. Just listen quietly. There are other important things to announce. Zhou Daoqing raised his head listlessly, and aroused interest. Zhou Daoqing really had no intention of asking about the previous high-sounding talks and the trivial matters of the family, so he had already wandered away. When the hunting team went out to hunt monsters, they accidentally discovered a lake with spiritual energy, in which there was a first-level middle-grade spiritual vein. After speaking, all the members of the Zhou family showed a happy expression, and their eyes all looked at the head of the family, and the silent atmosphere became active. A new station means brand new resources, which can bring more income to the family and provide more positions for the clan members. Zhou Changyi continued, but it was not only our Zhou family's hunting team that discovered it, but also the people of the Mo Yunshan Qi family. I have discussed with them and used 5,000 low-grade spirit stones to obtain the ownership of this island in the lake. Mo Yunshan Qi family, that the information of this family emerged in Zhou Daoqing's mind. This is also a foundation-building family. There are 2 foundation-building masters in the family, and their strength is slightly stronger than that of the Zhou family. Moreover, the Qi family also has the inheritance of immortal cultivation skills and is good at refining pills. The Zhou family and the Qi family are far apart, and there is no trading relationship or major conflicts. It can even be said that they are not familiar with each other. They are 2 families that live in peace. The other party is willing to give up the spirit vein this time because it is too far away from the base camp and it is really inconvenient to manage. Chapter 10 New Family Residence. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After Zhou Changyi finished speaking, there was a whisper from the audience. A first-level middle-grade spiritual vein. I didn't expect that my Zhou family would have another first-level spiritual vein. It's really the blessing of our ancestors. It's really a blessing for my Zhou family. With this first-level middle-grade spiritual vein, we can add more income to the family every year. It's just around the corner to buy the next foundation building pill. That the most excited person was the second elder Zhou Changping. Although the second elder was in the hunting team and was the first person to know the information, he was still so excited that he couldn't stop trembling when he heard it again. His old face was full of joy and he couldn't speak for a long time. At that time, he was the one in the family who had the most hope of breaking through the foundation building period, but in the end, because of his unstable mind, he failed, and the family's decades of accumulation were in vain. Although the clan members did not say anything, Zhou Changping still felt guilty and could not get over it. He had never received a salary in these years and had been working diligently for the family, trying to repay the cost of the foundation building pill, so he almost dedicated his whole life to the family. An elder could not help but ask, "Brother, what is the terrain of this island in the lake like? What specialties can be produced?" Yes, have you ever conducted a field survey to see which spiritual plants are suitable for planting? Are there any natural treasures in the lake? That the real benefits are what everyone cares about most. If there is only one spiritual vein without any resources, the value will be greatly reduced. Zhou Changyi was serious and unsmiling. He said, "I have personally seen it. It is a large lake hidden in the undeveloped primitive mountains. There are 3 islands in the lake, with an area of about 15 to 18 acres. The terrain is flat and the soil is fertile, which is very suitable for growing spiritual grains and spiritual plants. There are also natural first-level lower-grade spiritual fields, about 30 acres, evenly distributed on the 3 islands, and 2 acres of first-level middle-grade spiritual fields." Everyone took a breath again, and their hearts couldn't help but thump thump thump. Just these 30 acres of naturally existing spiritual fields are already valuable, not to mention the 2 acres of first-level middle-grade spiritual fields, which are even more significant, but this is not the end. Zhou Changyi continued to say, "There are no valuable spiritual plants on the island, but there are some other resources that may be used." "Other resources?" "Oh, my big brother, don't keep me in suspense, hurry up and tell me." An old man urged impatiently. The old man was the 4th elder Zhou Changyan, tall and burly, with a full beard, and he kept stroking his beard anxiously, almost balding it. Zhou Changyi didn't tolerate it, glared at him fiercely, and said in a cold voice, "How can you shout and yell at the ancestral worship meeting? Changyan, you are not young anymore, I will fine you 3 months' salary." That the 4th elder Zhou Changyan's face turned the color of pig liver, and he wanted to say something, but he didn't say it. He himself didn't expect that even if he became a family elder, he would still be punished by his eldest brother, and in front of many juniors. It was really a bit embarrassing, in the family. Except for the clan leader Xuanhuan, the head of the family Zhou Changyi is the most powerful person. And he is usually very strict and harsh to the clan members. Not only the juniors are afraid, but even other elders of the same generation have to be afraid in front of the head of the Zhou family. Seeing that everyone had quieted down, Zhou Changyi continued to speak. "The 2 resources I mentioned are the feces of the blue-winged herons and the white-scaled perch in the lake. There are many blue-winged herons living in that area. In the wetland not far away, there is a large amount of blue-winged heron feces, which are extremely nutritious and suitable for replenishing the fertility of the spiritual field and extending the service life of the spiritual field. As for the white-scaled perch, it is a kind of fish that grows in that lake. The quality ranges from the 1st grade lower grade to the 1st grade upper grade. The meat is plump and tender, and it has rich spiritual energy, but the number is relatively rare. These 2 resources play a vital role in the development of the family. On the one hand, it can maintain the long-term development of the spiritual field. As long as the blue-winged herons do not fly away, it can continue to obtain benefits. However, when collecting feces, you need to guard against the blue-winged herons. Although the individual strength of this monster is not strong, it moves in groups. Ordinary cultivators have no way to deal with them. Once they are besieged, it will be very dangerous. On the other hand, the value of the white-scaled perch is also very high. Whether it is eaten by yourself or sold to other families, it can bring a considerable amount of income. The total value of all the benefits exceeded 5,000 spirit stones, so this deal was a win-win. Having said that, everyone had a general understanding of the new settlement. The question now needed to be considered was who should be sent there to station and manage. Xuanhuan, the strongest patriarch in the family, must be stationed in Tianqi Mountain to guard the family base. Among the 7 elders in the family, Zhou Changyi served as the head of the Zhou family and the eldest elder, and he also needed to stay in Tianqi Mountain all year round. The other 6 elders, the 5th elder Zhou Changhai and the 3rd elder Zhou Changyuan, have been stationed in Taimu Mountain for many years. The importance of Taimu Mountain is self-evident and they must not be easily transferred. The 2nd elder Zhou Changping needs to lead the family hunting team and is also an indispensable existence. The 4th elder Zhou Changyan and the 6th elder Zhou Changguang are stationed in the shops in Sifangfang City and Luyuanfang City respectively, and they are also people who cannot be transferred. 6th elder Zhou Changguang spoke up and said, "Brother, Luyuan market is quite stable. How about transferring me there? It should be easier for me to watch over it in the early stages." Everyone nodded slightly. Luyuan market is a large market opened by Qingshan sect. There are strong men from the Purple Mansion in charge. It will be relatively stable. Even if there are no strong men stationed, there will be no big problems. No need. Zhou Changyi refused directly and said, "It's just a first-level middle-grade spiritual vein. You old guys don't need it. Stay in your position. I have other plans for this matter." Other plans? 6th elder Zhou Changguang was a little confused and asked, "Are you going to let the Shou generation go?" Nowadays, the real pillars of the family are still the Chang generation. As long as they have good talents, most of them have reached the late stage of qi refining and hold important positions in various positions in the family, and the Shou generation has gradually grown up. The strongest Zhou Shourong has successfully broken through to the 9th level of qi refining and became the first Shou generation elder. Zhou Changyan nodded slightly. It's not impossible to let the Shou generation do it. It's time to give these little bastards some experience. Zhou Changyi took a sip of tea and said, "What I mean is, let the Dao generation try. It's not a big problem. Although these kids are a little young, we old men are watching them. There won't be any problems." "No, what did you say?" "Let the Dao generation go." 4th elder Zhou Changyan was about to agree, but he reacted immediately and raised his voice a few notches. The other clansmen below also looked at the head of the family in surprise, thinking they had heard it wrong.